fellow crafters, welcome back. Clickwell is here. We are home and safe and sound from the End Island. What a long, arduous trip that was, but I'm glad to be back. Look at our little chateau here. Looks as good as ever. Nice, warm, and cozy. And if you see behind my shoulder there, you'll see there are 4 floating shulker boxes on top of the carpet, and that is where our endgame loot is. Let's have a quick look and see what we got. Okay, behind door number 1, we have our tools and our weapons. Look at this, a lot of diamond stuff, a lot of Curse of Vanishing, to be honest. But you know what? That's okay. We've got some stuff here that we can definitely use in the future. We can combine that with other enchantments, and that'll be great. We've got some armor here, lots and lots of diamond armor. Of course, some more Curse of Vanishing, some Curse of Binding. But we have also got Protection 4. We've got Protection Unbreaking 3 and Protection 4. So we've got some great stuff there as well we can use. Here are our elytra. We've also got the one on our back. Hello, and you know what? We've also got some saddles and some instant health potion 2s, as well as the slow falling potions that we had for the dragon fight. And finally, last but not least, we have the bits and bobs, a few armor and tools and stuff that couldn't fit in the other boxes. But we've got almost 2 stacks of gold. We've got almost a stack of iron, almost a stack of shulker shells, not including the ones we already made. This is 28 more shulker boxes worth. We've got some diamonds. We've got some dragon heads and some other stuff that we just kind of grabbed as we were going through. Nothing too important here. A few more brewing stands and some item frames, that kind of stuff. And if you think that maybe we're missing a dragon head, you are correct, because look what I did. Here is what I decided to make as our trophy for fighting that dragon. Actually, to be honest, this is a B00 design. B-Dubs went ahead and made this on Hermitcraft, and I thought, you know what, let's do an homage to that because it was such a great idea. So there's our dragon skin rug, and you know what, we even gave it a little button here so we can talk to it if we get lonely. Hello there, Clickwell. Okay, let's walk and talk here. I have an idea for today. I've been wanting to get an iron farm done for a long time. And you know what? Today is as good of a day as any other. I think before we do that, though, I need to get myself a little more food because I am down to 4... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Dude, this is our starting house. We've trapped him in here. You've been our prisoner this entire time. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Look out. Look out. Stand back, sir. I got the jaws of life here. You're free! You're free! Alright, 21 episodes in and you're finally free, sir. I'm so sorry. You've been a gentleman and a scholar this whole time, so stay well, my friend. Okay, but before even one more thing happens, I need to go ahead and take these off, throw them in my anvil, and put... You know what? Before we do that, we better combine these 2 books here. Let's do it the cheap way. Alright, I'm breaking in mending, elytra. Oh, baby. Let's throw these on. We are kitted. Look at us. Look at us. We got that beautiful purple glow, that little shimmer, that enchantment, baby. Oh, yeah. Okay, now there's only one more thing we need before we can get our wings, so to speak, and that is right in here. I've gone ahead and I've collected a whole bunch of paper from our sugarcane farm and a whole bunch of gunpowder from our mob farm, and I'm going to go ahead and combine those together to make us some rockets. So the way to make fireworks is to put a little bit of paper up in the crafting table just like that, and then a little bit of gunpowder. Now, it doesn't matter where they go. It's no big deal, but they do have to both be in there, and there's no recipe for it for some reason, but we're in 116.5 right now. So if you're watching this video and it's 117 has already come out, remember that they do have a recipe for that, so you can ignore what I just said. But we're going to go ahead and shift click on these rockets. There we go. We got 3 stacks in our inventory. I'm going to fill up an entire shulker box with rockets, and we're going to put that in our ender chest. We are making flight duration 1 rockets with 1 stack of gunpowder to get flight duration 1. If I had 2 stacks of gunpowder, it would be flight duration 2, and 3 stacks would be flight duration 3. That's really a personal preference. However long you like to be flying before you have to decide to hit the ignition again, that's up to you. I always like flight duration 1. Here are the items that we're going to be using for today's farm. We're going to be using a bunch of stone bricks. I think they look nice and fancy. We're in an end game now, so come on, no more cobblestone. We've got some white carpet here that we're going to explain what that's for a little bit later. We've got some more rails so we can bring the mobs maybe up a pathway, a bit of a ramp. A minecart for them to ride in. Some oak signs we're going to use to block off some lava. A cauldron that a zombie is going to sit inside of. Some temporary blocks we're going to use to build a structure. Some fence gates and some fences we're going to use to block off some water where the golems are going to spawn. We have some workstations, which is going to make this whole thing work. Some beds, which are going to make the whole thing work. So a few torches. We've got a name tag, which is actually pretty important if you can't find a zombie that can hold an item, as well as some spruce trapdoors, some lava to kill golems, and I don't know why there's a stack of glass in here. Okay. So we're going to be working on an iron farm based on Doc M77's design. Doc M77 actually based his design on Techman 88's design. So I'm going to leave you a link for both of those, both of their farms down below. One thing that you're going to need to know is it requires villagers. You need 6 villagers. I think I have 7 here, just in case. 8! Oh man, I've got a party. Okay, we only need 6 villagers, but I put down a couple boats. They seem to have wandered in just to hang out because it's such a cool place to be. So we're going to go ahead and take these guys over to a rail that I had set up with a bunch of iron that we had left over, and we got some of these rails from our from the abandoned mine shafts that we found below, and we're going to take them all the way over there to Industry Island. We're going to go into a bit of a replay mod today, but for now, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about how this works. It's based on villager mechanics, and the way that villagers get a little bit afraid when they see zombies and mobs walking around, and then when that happens, they manifest an iron golem out of thin air to protect them. So we want to basically scare them into an iron golem appearing. We want that iron golem to be destroyed. We're going to keep that iron, and then we're going to scare them again to cause another iron golem to fall. It's a pretty horrific existence for them, I think, but you know what? This is just a video game, and we love iron, so we're going to go ahead and overlook that part. We're going to bring them over there to Industry Island, and we're going to get this iron farm set up. Okay, so build a 15 by 21 box on the ground. That'll be our collection zone, and then we're going to go ahead and find the very center of that and build a staircase up towards that we're going to put some rails on that we can have people travel along, such as villagers and zombies, that kind of thing. Speaking of zombies, why do I have a villager? Because usually I start with the zombies, so let's bring you home. Put you in the box here for safekeeping. Boop. All right. Okay, now that we have our structure in place, let's see if we can go ahead and get a zombie trapped in there. That's the most important part. That's what makes the farm work. So now that we've got Elytra, let's take the safe route over there and see if we can get one of these zombies into a minecart, and see if we can get him on top of this thing here. Okay, so here's our zombie. Here he is. This is going to be our guy, and let's see if first off, before anything else, let's see if we can pick up an item. If I throw an item on the ground, sometimes they can pick those up, and if they can, that means that once that's in their hand, they can't despawn. But he's not doing that. He's not one of those zombies. So, ooh, maybe his friend over there is one of those zombies. Are you one of those zombies? You're not one of those zombies. Okay, so when that happens, the best thing to do is to put these guys in with a name tag on them. That way, oh, excuse me, sir. You want to fight. You want to play dirty. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Excuse me. Excuse me. Haha, now what? Now you're not so tough. Okay, so let's block these guys in real quick. Excuse me, you're in the way right now. Be gone. Haha, okay. Alright, now that guy is, he is trapped. Let's go ahead and put the name tag on him. Okay, now that we have a zombie trapped in this little box here, and he's been name tagged, let's go ahead and let him out now. Alright, Danger, follow me. We're going to bring him over here to the minecart minecart rail that we already have set up. We're going to drop this on top of it. Usually I like to try and bounce this cart back and forth. Let's see if he'll just jump in. He doesn't want to jump up because of the minecart. He does not. Okay, so let's put that, excuse me, sir. Let's put a block right there for you. And see if that wants to get you up there. I see you, creeper. I see you, creeper. Remember that it's nighttime? Oh, no. Man, we just missed out on that one. That's okay. He died. He died. No, he's in the cart. He's in the minecart. Okay, so we need to see that again from another angle. Here we are, and bringing the zombie up just like that. The creeper sneaks in from behind me. Boom, right in the minecart. That was beautiful. It needs to be appreciated from multiple angles. Okay, here we go. We are going to get this guy all set up. We're going to build him a little box at the bottom of this little rail staircase here. This is going to be how we transport our zombies and our villagers up to the top. So let's get him up there. But first off, I need to put a cauldron down. As soon as he goes off the rail and lands in that cauldron, he'll be in position. The one thing I didn't do here, and you'll notice in a second, is I kind of screwed up. I'm gonna push him up the rail by hand here. I kind of screwed up. You can see there's a rail and it goes straight to cauldron. You need to have a block where that rail is at the top, because when I put him on the cauldron and break the minecart, he's gonna pop off and he's gonna want to go onto the nearest full block. That rail is not a full block. See, there we go. I broke the minecart and he popped up onto that block on top there. He actually came down and he actually ended up dying during that. So I had to find another guy. So here's our new zombie. We're gonna push him up. I am on the struggle bus right now. You can tell I cannot get him up this thing. It took me like 4 or 5 tries. Finally, here we go. I get him up in this last try. He's in position. I leave a nice block there for him to fall onto. As you can see here, I'm going to break that rail. I'm going to cover that up. So now there's a space for him to teleport to after I pop him out of the minecart. There you go, sir. Okay, so now we're going to set this up for some villagers. I'm going to, I'm not going to need the rails anymore, but we're just going to leave them there for now. I'm going to basically build a little barricade, a little channel, bringing them from the bottom area where we had that little safe house that I built for the zombie until we can get them up to the very top into the area they want to be. So I want to basically build out their little bed sections that they're going to be sleeping in. You want to do that by measuring 4 blocks out from the cauldron. Basically, I put 4 dirt blocks out from the cauldron. I went down 1 block and made that little fork thing. That's where our beds are going to be. I'm going to bring them through that little dirt chute. There's the beds. We're going to put them heads away from the zombie, and I'm going to put a little spruce block in the middle that they're going to stand on. I'm going to put a trapdoor on top of that, and then a workstation behind it with a block on top of that, as well as 2 more workstations on the pillows of the side beds. I know it's a little confusing, but if you watch this video back slowly, or if you go ahead and watch that dock-in video, you'll get this much easier. But here we go again. I'm going to finish building up over here. I'm going to put a slab sort of along that front part there. You can kind of see it a little bit closer later, but the most important part of the 3 trapdoors you're going to put behind that slab. Between the slab and the 2 workstations, there's going to be 3 trapdoors. That's going to keep the villagers from popping back up on top of the beds. There used to be, if you watch DocM's video, you won't see that part in there, but I kind of realized in the new update of 1.16 that they would pop up on the beds and kind of get out of that little hole in the middle, and that would be a problem. So I ended up realizing that the trapdoors fix that problem. So that's the best way to do it. Okay, so once you bring your first villager over, you can just bring him to the bottom of the staircase there and just break the minecart. He should pathfind his way all the way up because there's a workstation there and he's going to want to see that if it's the right time of the day. As long as it's not super late or super early, he should be able to look for that. I'm basically going back and I'm putting them in a boat just like this. I'm getting in the boat with them. I'm bringing them over to this little box that I made. I'm going to block them out so they can't get out. And then basically I'm going to go in there. I'm going to make sure that they have a pathway all the way to the minecart that I'm going to have set up behind me there, and then I'm just going to walk in. I'm going to break the boat. I'm going to push them towards the minecart that I've already set up, push them into that, and then just guide them all the way to where we need to go. We could use powered minecarts or powered rails for this, but it's not really necessary. I didn't really have any on hand, so I just figured I'd just push them along. It's not that long of a way, and there's only 1 or 2 hills anyway, so it worked out well. Get in there, buddy. Okay, here is villager number 2. I'm going to put him in there, block him off. I'm going to break his minecart, and he'll just run up himself because he sees the workstations, and he wants to get to work. So here's the thing. The more villages you have in there, the more difficult it is to push them into the hole. It's the way the hitboxes are. They kind of block each other off. That wasn't too difficult there. I was able to nudge him in. But now that there's 2 guys in there, it's going to be super difficult. This guy's going to be a real pain in the butt. I was able to squeeze him in. The other 2 guys just backed out just quick enough for me to kind of just nudge him into the slot there. It worked out perfect. But the other guys didn't work out super well, so I can explain to you kind of what I did there. If this guy wants to just work his way into that hole, you can see there I just gave him a little punch, and that didn't work, but that one did. Finally, he worked his way in. There we go, lovely. He's in the right position. I have 3 villagers in there. They all have their own workstations, and they are busily working and ready to sleep and go about their day. That means that there's 3 villagers in there with workstations. That means that is considered by the game to be a village, which means that it has enough people in there, has enough going on that they can spawn a golem. So here's the other side. I'm going to go ahead and make that 4 blocks away from the cauldron like the other side. We're going to go ahead and put all those blocks into position exactly like we did over there, and we're going to go ahead and start getting some villagers for this side as well. Also, one last thing you don't want to forget is you're going to put water on top of the trapdoor that they're standing on. Like I said, the way this works is we want to scare these villagers into spawning a golem. And what we're going to do is put a block in front of them with a carpet on top of it. Then we're going to put a block above their head and water below them. And what that's going to do is basically wedge them into the exact, almost pixel-perfect area we want them to be in, where they can make eye contact with that zombie in the middle. And then because they're in the water, they're going to bob up and down. So they'll be in that perfect position where they can see the zombie, and then they'll bob down. They won't be able to see the zombie. And then they'll bob up and they'll be able to see the zombie, and it'll happen over and over and over again, and that'll basically trick them into being able to see it, not see it, and be able to want to spawn a golem over and over and over again. Here I had a real difficult time. I don't know if you guys can tell. Here I am, I'm crawling now, trying to nudge him in that way, and he does not want to go. There's one trick that you can do to get him into bed, and that's to wait until nighttime, just like I'm doing here. Wait for the other 2 to sleep, and then you can jump in there, and there'll be tons of space, and then you can go ahead and push him into that spot, and then he'll jump into bed as well, and everything will be fine. We had a golem spawn there, so somebody must have seen a zombie. That's okay, though. He can go over there and protect us during the nighttime here. As you can see, they're popping in and out of bed, which means that something scared them to wake up, which is probably the zombie. But it's since they can't see him, that's why we're not seeing golems spawn everywhere. Now what I'm going to try and do is get the zombie into perfect position. I'll be honest with you guys, this was one of the most difficult things that I had to figure out when I first started building this farm. This took me probably a couple hours the first time, and I got super angry and rage quit at least twice. But what you need to do is get him onto position on top of that cauldron at first. I used a bucket of water there. I put it beside him. I pushed him into position, and then I replaced that water source with a piece of dirt. And then in order to get him inside of the cauldron, you need to be in crawl mode. Like we talked about when we went into our end gateway there, you need to be in crawl mode. You can use a trapdoor to put yourself in that position, and then you can nudge him in crawl mode. Otherwise, it's impossible to do when you're standing up, and it can be super frustrating. So remember that, crawl mode. Okay, now we're going to build the kill chamber, the collection zone for the golems. They're going to be falling down from a little platform on top of that zombie there, and they're going to be falling into this little spot here, which is going to have water sources pushing from the left and the right towards the center. And then from that point, we're going to dig a 3 deep channel that's going to have water sources going from the top and the bottom towards the center, meaning that they'll all kind of move into that 3x3 block space in the middle and fall into our lava trap. We're going to dig out the walls here as well, just to fill that with some stone bricks because it looks nice, but we went about 3 deep, and I think that's probably a good depth for this. We'll get rid of that granite. We'll leave the diorite. Okay, the water is going to overflow in your 3x3 section in the middle, so we're going to end up putting signs all the way across the top to block that water. Then, once we get to the bottom, we're going to go ahead and place signs all along the bottom after we have our hoppers on. So let's put our hoppers on, and we're going to cover those hoppers with signs on top of that. Now we're going to have a 1 block of air between these 2 signs. And that's where we're going to put our lava blade, which is going to kill the golems. So the lava is going to be coming down basically at around mid-section, mid-shoulder height on the golems. And the signs on the very bottom is going to be where their drops come out after they die. So that's how our drops are not going to burn in lava. The golems will be destroyed by the lava, but the drops will fall at the bottom into our hoppers and into our chests. One last thing I'd like to do to our collection area here is raise it up a little bit. One thing I've noticed is if you're doing a lot of work in this area at nighttime, sometimes you can have a zombie or a skeleton fall into your trap as well. And then the only problem with that is once we start making filters for our iron and our poppies and stuff down there, that it's potential that we may have some bones or some rotten flesh fall in there as well, and that could clog up the filter. So I'm going to raise that by 2 blocks and then put a slab on top to make sure that they don't spawn on top. Yeah, so we're basically just carving this area out down here. We're just going to put some hoppers into some chests. We're also going to have a crafting table down here to make ingots into blocks. And we're also going to have things like, I don't know, a composter to make bone meal out of all the poppies. But we'll deal with that later. You can see that hopper right there. That's where all the iron is going to be coming out of. It's going to be super easy to direct that into any type of filter that we want. Okay, so that's our collection area and our storage area all set up. Now we're going to finish off the farm. First thing I want to do is build our lightning protection zones for these villagers. That's right, they can get zapped by lightning, even though there's a block above the villager's head on the left. I've had it before where they've turned into witches, so you know what? Sometimes I just want to be safe. I want to cover them up completely. So I'm going to just pillar up a little bit and put a bottom stone brick slabs there. Here I screwed up. I put a spruce block on the right for some reason and thought that was part of the farm, but it was just a temporary block I'd made. And then when I went over to the left, I'd used that other spruce block as my reference point, and now I'm a few blocks lower. So I think I must have flown back and forth about 30 times here trying to figure out where I made the mistake. So Elytra is a huge help when making these farms, that's for sure. That's why I like to build these a little bit later game if possible. Okay, there you go, dum that's better. Except that the one on the left is 1 block wider, but we won't talk about that. Okay, now the area that we want the golems to spawn, it's going to be a 5x5 full block pad. And then we're going to put fences along the sides so they can't fall off that way towards the villagers. And we're going to put gates along the other side. That's where we're going to have them fall off. We're going to put torches there so things don't spawn. And of course, we're going to put water all along the middle so then they fall off the edge. It's kind of confusing there with the way you want the water to get set up. But you're going to have to, after you put 3 full sources along the middle, you're going to have to put 1 more source kind of in the corner of one of the other sections. And that'll turn it all into moving water blocks. After we get the water sources all settled, we're going to make sure we put carpet on all the rest of the blocks all over the villager stations just so golems don't accidentally spawn on top of those trapdoors. And then we're just going to sit back and enjoy the show. One thing you want to remember is if it's not quite working right and you're only getting 1 golem spawning instead of 2, just wait 1 full day cycle. Let them go to bed, wake up, and go back to work, and then we should see everything kind of sort itself out. There we go, there's 2. And that's gonna do it for today. Here we are in our iron bunker. We just heard an iron golem bite the dust behind us. And let's go ahead and leave this area to finish this episode with our beautiful farm in our view behind us. Look at it there, all lit up at nighttime. It's a gorgeous farm. Thank you so much, DocM77, for showing us how to make this thing. Like I said, I'm gonna leave you that link below. Go by and check him out. Give him a follow. There's a couple of golems dropping to accentuate our point about how amazing this farm is. Thanks for coming, guys. Thank you for your view today. Thank you for that like if you liked the video. If you haven't subscribed already, please mash that button. I really do appreciate that. It helps me so much. I will see you guys very soon. Thank you for being here today. I'm going to run away now. Let's end the video right there. Stay well, everybody. Stay safe. Love you tons. Peace. Okay, bye-bye.